It's potentially the biggest meme moment in Lord of the Rings, other than, one doesn't just walk into Mordor meme. But it is the moment when Sam in the Shire says, "If I take one more step, it'll be the farthest from home that I've ever been." And it is such a meme moment that someone made an entire Lord of the Rings video on YouTube where every single step that Sam takes, that scene plays, which is insane. I think it's gotten taken down, but it's a wild, wild video. And most people would be surprised to know that this moment does actually happen in the books too, but it is not just a simple sadness for leaving the Shire that Sam is experiencing, and it doesn't happen in the Shire. The moment that Sam is afraid to take one more step happens much, much later in his journey, in a much more dangerous place. Because at this point in the story where Sam says this, Sam thinks that Frodo is dead. They just passed into the land of Mordor. They just got past Shelob, but Shelob stabbed Frodo and some orcs snatched them up before Sam could really do anything. And Sam experiences one of the best written scenes of grief that I've ever read in any chapter in any book of all time, in the Choices of Master Samwise chapter. Go read that chapter. It's in the beginning. It's in the end of the Two Towers. It's the end of the Two Towers. But as they pick their story back up in the beginning of book 6, because Tolkien takes us, through all of book 5, we go through the storyline of Pippin, Aragorn, Merry, and the rest of that company. And then in book 6, when he picks up the story and he finally gets back to the story of Frodo and Sam, this is the moment, the very first chapter, where Sam is nervous to take a step. And it's not because it'll be the farthest from home that he's ever been, although it probably is, because if he takes one more step, that is very far. But this moment comes when he thinks that there will be no returning, that he is walking into sure doom, that if he takes one more step, he will surely die. This is what the book says about that moment. There he halted and sat down. For the moment, he could drive himself no further. He felt that if once he went beyond the crown of the pass and took one step veritably down into the land of Mordor, that step would be irrevocable. He could never come back. Without any clear purpose, he drew out the ring and put it on again. Now, side note, Sam does wear the ring in the book, which is kind of insane to me, but I think this moment really is much more dramatic than his moment in the Shire. I do love that moment in the movie with the Shire where Frodo kind of helps him take his next step. It's a great moment that sets the relationship up in the beginning of the book. But it's just different from the book, when he doesn't really want to enter into this land, but he knows he must. And Sam's journey at this moment is not to destroy the ring, which I actually find so fascinating too. His journey is simply to get back to Frodo. There's a moment in the previous book that he goes on ahead, but immediately turns back in his heart because he feels like this is the wrong thing to do. And so he is about to turn back when Frodo gets taken up by the orcs. And so when he learns that Frodo is alive and taken by the enemy, he decides he must go and try to rescue him, even though he still kind of thinks that Frodo's dead. But his love of Frodo propels him forward, which I just think is such a powerful moment in the book, where he is sitting there, deciding to take the path that he knows he's going to die on. Should he save his life and walk back to the Shire? Or, he'll surely endure some scorn and shame there, but he will be alive. Or should he charge forward, forsaking his own life and attempt to rescue Frodo? And it's vital too, because previously in the Sam and Frodo sections of this book, Frodo has known that this journey will end up claiming his life. He's gotten to know that fact as the book has gone on. He knows that there really won't be a return journey, and Sam has really struggled with that idea. He has heard the words, but the reality of those words have not really sunk into his heart yet. Or he's not even really believed them, to be all that honest. Sam has just had this unshakable resolve that they can get back to the Shire because they're fighting for the Shire, and what's this all for if they can't make it back and enjoy it? There was a really, really good moment in the second book when Frodo actually warned Sam of this in the Two Towers. It was a really beautiful moment, and this is how the book says it. "I don't know how long we shall take to finish," said Frodo. "We were miserably delayed in the hills, but Samwise Gamgee, my dear hobbit, indeed, Sam, my dearest hobbit, friend of friends, I do not think we need to give thought to what comes after that. To do the job, as you put it. What hope is there that we ever shall? And if we do, who knows what will come of that? If the one goes into the fire and we are at hand, I ask you, Sam, are we ever likely to need bread again? I think not. If we can nurse our limbs to bring us to Mount Doom, that is all we can do. More than I begin to feel. Sam nodded silently. He took his master's hand and bent over it. He did not kiss it, though his tears fell on it. Then he turned away, drew his sleeve over his nose, and got up and stamped about, trying to whistle, and saying between the efforts, "Where's that dratted creature?" So this step that Sam is taking into Mordor is him finally coming to the understanding, not just in his head but in his heart, that this journey will claim his life. That if he takes one more step, it won't be the farthest from home that he's ever been. Well, it probably will be, but this one step will be the beginning of the end of his journey. It will be the last step that he takes that will signify that he will die. And as a reader who's reading this for the first time, because I know the movies, it's spoiled a little bit, but I still think that I too would finally come to this realization in this moment that Sam will actually die. That this journey, it might be successful, but neither Frodo or Sam are making it out of this alive. And I just keep saying, but I think this is a more powerful moment than the movies have. I do love the movie moment. Just have to admit that. But the payoff for what the books do in leading up to this moment is just so much more significant and satisfying. But that's all I got for you today. Yet another video of just me saying how I prefer the books to the movies. But make sure you subscribe. If you made it this far, you can also like the video too and become a member for some members only content and some early access to videos. And as a new little sign off, because this chapter had a great line, "Above all shadows rides the sun, and stars forever dwell. I will not say the day is done, nor bid the stars farewell." I'll see you in the next one.